This woman became my real heroine. She could have been my mentor years before. Who I would have been and what I could have done under her mentorship, I just think was a gift that I can't regain. But it makes the time that I had with her that much more precious and impactful. It begs the question, why didn't I know about her even before 1997? Why didn't all little girls know, especially little girls of color? Why did I have to go through so much hurt and heartache in life when I could have looked at her and held my head high and stepped through with such poise, comportment, and grace? Why couldn't I have had that voice that spoke not just to the world, but to my heart, to my resolve? I cannot find consolation, reconciliation, or any rational reason why that had to be so. That's why after I did get to know her, she became more than a mission in my mind. She became a movement, an entire movement. I got to know her and her story, and I was more present than I might have been if I had not felt the headwind, the cold, the sorts of barriers I had to encounter on my own. As I learned about her story, it became my story, and we became one. Her words became my words. Her voice largely became my voice. I actually found my voice in sitting at her feet, learning from her, and hearing her voice about how she stepped through it. When she stepped through the barriers, her steps were hidden. They were silent. But when she was given voice, she spoke about it with such uncompromising grace. Whether there were barriers or bans or badges, it didn't matter to her. It was all the same. She was going to do her best. She was just doing her job. And that's what she said. Always do your best. The family invited me to go to NASA's screening at Langley of the movie Hidden Figures, and there were many other events. We ended up going to the New York screening, the Smithsonian, and the White House. We did a number of interviews together. But to me, you take away the red carpet and the cameras, and it was always just she and I having a conversation. After about a year or two, that eventually turned into our Sunday conversations, Sunday chats. We just continued to have these Sunday chats back and forth, where we let our hair down and talked about absolutely everything. We started out talking about the science, the math, and the engineering, but there came a point where we talked about everything from her life, my life. I know what it's like to be that hidden figure. That's why it affects me so deeply. She never made me feel hidden. That's why those Sundays were so important. When asked how she dealt with the discrimination and segregation at NASA during her era, she said she was always aware of it, but that when she passed through those gates, she had a job to do. And no matter what was going on, she always did her best. She didn't have perspective on the impact of what she did, and so she genuinely didn't understand all the attention she was getting after the book and the movie. I was just doing my job, she said. The way she saw it, she was doing the work that the men wouldn't do because they were doing more important things. In 2018, the whole world was celebrating when it was announced that NASA was planning to go back to the moon. It had been several weeks, and no one from NASA had thought to tell Dr. Mom. That's what I began calling her. And so I told Joylette that I would love the honor of letting her know we were going back. When I told her over the phone, I was sitting at my kitchen table in California, and she was in Virginia. And she was so excited. She said, "That's just wonderful. Now, this is what you need to do." She immediately went to work. She said, "The first thing you need to do is plant a garden." I thought I had misheard. In my mind, I'm thinking it's a wonderful, beautiful idea, but at 100 years old, you can envision whatever you want. Turns out, she knew exactly what she was talking about. Right after that, she said, "You can't just plant a garden. You have to make sure the soil content is correct, because if you don't have enough nitrogen in the soil, nothing is going to grow. And it's primarily carbon dioxide you've got to look at. You've got to figure out how to make the carbon dioxide-oxygen ratio just right so you can grow the plants. And the plants can give off the oxygen."